Hey, you just caught me in the middle of editing another Great Racer Cinema Productions video. Sure is a nice day outside, even though it's raining. Yeah, I can feel the drizzle on my body. So tell me, Robin, what has happened between you and Lori recently? Well, actually, things have been going good for us in recent times. Yeah. So what has happened is, well, she wanted to go for a swim, but she's banned in a lot of swimming pools in her local area, if you may recall. And of course, somehow Barbara Gordon knew a swimming pool that she wasn't banned in, the Gotham City pool. Yeah, whereas her local pools can't handle the chaos, the Gotham City pools chill with it because, well, a lot of chaos happens in Gotham City. That's why Batman's here. So, her and Barbara Gordon got or Batgirl got transported by our butler Alfred, and he took them to the Gotham City pool, and they had a nice swim. Damn, I almost fainted when I saw Lori's derriere when she wore her bikini. Well, I don't want to get any dirty thoughts, but damn. Yeah, I have to try to get my mind together. So, yeah, and it's the same thing for a Batgirl. Just don't make me think of dirty thoughts. Okay, so that's what happened. We had a nice swim in the Gotham City pool. And don't worry, the Gotham City pool staff is pretty much chill with any chaos going around. And they'll allow her family to go in. I see. Yeah, that's Gotham City in a nutshell. Chaos happens, and, well, that's why Batman's around. Wait. I see something in the sky, Robin. Huh? Yeah, it looks like a rocket. I better go take a look. This area is bright red. Looks like the hallways to a hospital, and is 10 kilometers long. You will also see a monster trying to chase after you while you run out of here. Name this exact area. This riddle is related to the backrooms. It's red. It looks like the hallways to a hospital, and there's a monster chasing after you. There's a lot of the entities chasing after you, in fact, and it's 10 kilometers long. So, the answer to this riddle is level exclamation mark! Yeah, level exclamation mark. Level danger. It's the area in the back rooms where you have to run for your life, and you have to run away from a monster, and it's really dangerous. Yeah, that's what it is. Run for your life. The answer is level exclamation mark, run for your life. Jeez. Don't ever make me go inside the back rooms. Don't ever make me clip into reality. I'd rather think of Barbara Gordon or Batgirl's purple swimsuit than that. Yeah. Same here. I don't even want to go in the back rooms. But they're probably not real, though. But that's very odd of the Riddler to give us a riddle about the back rooms. Because it's a really spooky riddle. It sounds like something that Robin Williams, if he played as the Riddler in Batman Forever, would have had. But anyhow, I gotta get changed, and I gotta take a look at, well, a game that I still have to review, Batman and Robin. I'll see you around, Mr. Dick Grayson. Bye-bye! And I'll make sure I have a pic of a Barbara Gordon swimsuit for you. Yeah. I have to do it while she doesn't see me, because you know. Alright, I just got changed. Let me adjust that camera a bit. There we go. Well, hello again. So, today I'm going to be taking a look at one of the worst Batman games ever made, and it just so happens to be based on the worst Batman live-action movie ever made. And it is Batman and Robin for the PlayStation 1. Alright, let me give you a bit of history. In 1992, Batman Returns was released to the big screens. And while it became successful, it wasn't nearly as successful as Warner Brothers had hoped. But it did a lot better than other movies at the time, including Die Hard with a Vengeance. And when Tim Burton was going to make his version of Batman Forever, which would have been called Batman Continues, he was booted off the project. And because Tim Burton was booted off the project, Michael Keaton, the best version of Batman, left. And it's such a shame too. We would have gotten a better version of Batman Forever. I really wanted to see what Tim Burton's take on Batman Forever would have been like. It's said that Robin Williams would have played as the Riddler, which would have been actually pretty cool. And Billy D. Williams would have been Two-Face. And it's sad that he didn't get to become Two-Face. Well, not at least until the Lego Batman movie came out. So yeah, it's kind of sucks that Tim Burton got booted off the project. And another director was hired to take his place, Joel Schumacher. But Tim Burton was still a producer. He just wasn't a director. And in 1995, Batman Forever came out on the big screen. And even though it wasn't nearly as good as the previous two Batman movies, especially the 1989 Batman movie, it was pretty successful, as anything Batman related was guaranteed to be a success, and had a lot of merchandise, including those famous Batman Forever cups by McDonald's, and video games. Yeah, it became a success, and prompted Warner Brothers to make a sequel to it called Batman and Robin. But when it came out in 1997, it was one of the worst movies ever made, and the worst Batman movie ever made. And again, it wasn't as successful as Warner Brothers had hoped. Well, still grossed over $200 million in the box office. It was outgrossed by Face Off that year, and that's really something. It still got a lot of merchandise made out of it, especially a video game for the PlayStation 1, which is believed to be one of the worst Batman video games ever made. And we're gonna find out why. Because of the poor reception of Batman and Robin, the sequel, Batman Unchained, had to be cancelled. It was going to be a darker take, was going to return to the darker formula of the first two Batman movies. And it was crazy that it didn't happen because, well, Nicolas Cage as Scarecrow, that would have been cool. And we would have gotten Harley Quinn rewritten as the Joker's daughter, and Jack Nicholson's version of the Joker appearing in Batman's hallucinations with the fear gas. It would have been crazy. But alas, it didn't happen. Alright, so I didn't get much with this game. It didn't originally come with a manual. The manual's missing, but it still has the back and the disc itself, which is in pretty good condition. Yeah, so Batman and Robin continue with the campy theme of a Batman Forever, but at least Batman Forever was a combination of Joel Schumacher's sensible ideas with, well, the world of Tim Burton's world of Batman. But this movie, it was tongue-in-cheek all the way. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at Batman and Robin on the PlayStation 1, and we're going to play it on the PlayStation 2, because I can. Trying to be fancy here. Alright, so let's go take a look at one of the worst video games ever made. This is Batman and Robin on the PlayStation 1. Oh, look at there. It looks like the Robin logo is flying towards the Batman logo. There it is. There's the Batman and Robin logo from the movie itself. Because I'm sure we all remember this infamous movie, am I right?
Prepare for a bitter harvest.
Oh, that's interesting. That's the only bit of dialogue from Arnold Schwarzenegger that's put into this game. We better mute the music so I don't get a copyright claim. I probably am going to anyways, because this is copyrighted music. There we go. We muted the music in this game, and we're all set. There's not that many game options, so let's just go ahead into the game and see what this game is all about. So far, so good. The intro cutscene actually looks pretty cool. And no, in case you're wondering, there is no way to turn off the music in cutscenes. So if you plan on reviewing this game, you're probably going to get a copyright claim regardless. Oh, and there's the freeze truck coming out of the ground, and yes, this is a technically an underground vehicle, but they couldn't film it going underground due to a budget constraints. And there's Mr. Freeze. Yeah, he technically has one line in this cutscene, and it's not from Arnold Schwarzenegger, sadly. Yeah, we start out in the Batcave. It tells us the plot of the movie, and of course it tells you what to do in this game. You have to look for clues, and you have to press the do button, which, by the way, is the X button. They don't tell you that it's the X button. So if you want to access the Bat computer, you have to press X. Alright, so we go into the Bat computer, which is basically just an old PowerPC Macintosh computer running macOS 7.6.1. Yeah, really, that's what it looks like. It does make sense since Alfred Pennyworth used a 20th anniversary Macintosh in the movie. And we look at some clues. Yeah, there's the Gotham City Museum. There's a paper, the Gotham City Museum, and suit on diamond in display. Yeah, it's apparently a diamond from Iran or Iraq, I'm not even sure. It could be from Egypt. And an email that Alfred himself sent us. So yeah, those are all clues. And to be honest, this is actually ahead of its time. This kind of stuff would be shown in the later Batman games. I'll tell you which ones in a moment. Alright, so we're looking at the clues, and, well, let's look at the map, where to go. Yeah, so, yeah, there's the map, and of course, well, we already know that we're gonna go to the museum anyway, so let's say, set our coordinates to the museum. Alright, so we're gonna set our coordinates to the Gotham City Museum. Yeah, let's get that Persian diamond that's on display. Alright, so let's exit out of the Batmac and let's say get into the Batmobile. There's the Batmobile, and yeah, I do agree with Matt McMuscles on it looking cooler than the Tumbler. It really does look cooler than the Tumbler. And it's got that neon lights and all that cool stuff. Even the, heck, even the Batmobile from Batman Forever, the H.R. Geiger-esque Batmobile looked better than the Tumbler. Because it's got that cool look. The Tumbler is basically like a, well, it's supposed to look ugly because it's a military vehicle, and the military is all about, well, function over form. Yeah, this one looks pretty cool, but the driving controls are kind of iffy. I mean, I could actually get used to it, but on my first playthrough, I actually endangered some poor citizens in Gotham City. And it's hard not to crash into any cars, believe me. And sometimes you'll come across these henchmen in APCs that will obliterate your health bar. I mean, seriously. These guys took away a chunk of the health bar from the Batmobile, and it was destroyed. Yeah, you have to make sure you shoot down these guys, or, well, you're screwed. But anyhow, we're on our route to we're on our way to the Gotham City the Gotham City Museum, to get the diamond, or protect it. Yeah, it says straight to the museum, but you have to basically look around for it. Even with the map system, it's kind of hard to tell where it is. Here's what happens when you die, and you'll be seeing this a lot. Yeah, you see, like, it cuts to a cutscene of Mr. Freeze taking over Gotham. Yeah, you only get one life. One life. And that's it. Back to the title screen it is. Man. You know what I miss? The continue screen and multiple lives. That's what I miss. We arrived. Oh, and have you noticed something yet? Yeah, there's a different timer there. And that's because I restart the game several times over because you only have one life and you don't save in between games. You have no continues whatsoever. Yeah, one life, no continues. It's ridiculous. And why do we get a shot at that statue? Why is it so important? Anyways, if you haven't noticed already, this game is actually pretty ambitious for the time. It actually took the idea of a Batman open world game and you can explore the streets of Gotham City. Go around fighting bad guys. Oh, and be careful about the bad guys, by the way, because they will eat up your life bar in no time. Yeah, they'll eat it up in no time. And again, one life, no continues. It's painful. It's pain. Yeah, while it was a good idea at the time, it unfortunately isn't very good. Yeah, it's got terrible controls. But I actually found out there is a dash button. Yeah, we just threw the batarang at the glass ceiling. And of course, you need to be at certain points in time where you have to have an alarm set off. You either have to wait or press the X button to advance time. And the alarm just set off, and we have more of Mr. Freeze's henchmen to fight against. Yeah, it's a really ambitious idea for the time. But it's not very good. It's not very executed well. And I would rather watch the Loud House Christmas movie, the live-action movie called A Loud House Christmas, several times over than have to put myself through this torture. Yeah, this game is actually torture, no joke. I've restarted several times, and I had to put myself through this game and figure out that you have to smash through windows in order to get some objects. Yeah, and make sure you defeat one of these guys and not have your life bar depleted in an instant, because your life bar is guaranteed to be depleted in an instant, and you will go back to the title screen unless you save repeatedly. Yeah, this game is pain. It's pain. And what a perfect analogy, right? You've got the worst Batman movie ever made, Batman and Robin. And then you have this game, Batman and Robin, which is one of the worst Batman games based on the worst Batman movie ever made. This is a perfect analogy. And no, you cannot perform basic moves like jumping while in a combat mode. You have to switch between combat mode and detective mode to perform certain moves. Why did they make it like this is I have no clue. And yeah, you need to do this a lot and it can get cumbersome. In Batman Arkham Knights and pretty much all of the Batman Arkham games, you can actually perform certain basic moves while still being in detective mode. And you can, I believe you can still perform certain attacks while being in detective mode. Because, well, you always use, your attacks, regardless if you're in detective mode or not. Yeah, this idea was improved upon with the Batman Arkham games, and Rocksteady did a great job with them. My favorite game in the series is Batman Arkham Knight because you get to drive the Batmobile! Yeah. You don't get to drive the Batmobile in previous games, but you do get to drive the Batmobile in that one, and it's way better than the Batmobile section in Batman and Robin. had a good idea, but unfortunately, it was a little too ambitious. And it wouldn't be years since we finally get this idea perfected. Alright, we're just waiting for Mr. Freeze to show up, and Mr. Freeze is, well, he pretty much sums up everything that's wrong about the bad guys. And you're about to see why. Well, Mr. Freeze finally appeared, just like in the movie. But you're about to see why this boss represents everything that is wrong about the basic bad guys in this game and multiplies them by 1,000. You see, I'm gonna go up against Mr. Freeze and he's about to steal the diamond. Just like in the movie. And in the movie, they do explain that he needs the diamonds to power his freeze suit. And his freeze gun. Yeah, Mr. Freeze just stole the diamond. There he is. There is Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal of Mr. Freeze. And you have to be careful of that freeze gun, because that will take you out in an instant. Oh man, look at there. Trying to defeat Mr. Freeze. Yeah, but he's churning away my life bar faster than I am. And I just lost. Believe me, this boss is insanely hard. And this is just the first boss of the game! It shouldn't be this hard! Yeah! It's only the first boss of the game! And again, one life and you're back! Yeah, you got no chance of trying to beat this game in one sitting, unless you save repeatedly. When playing this game, you can see why people rip it apart more than the Hulk rips apart his shirts. Well, when Bruce Banner changes into the Hulk. Yeah, it's a terrible game with awful controls and unfair difficulty, but at least it has a good idea going for it. And the previous game, based on the Joel Schumacher Batman movie, Batman Forever, actually did have a mix of fighting game elements with platforming elements and beat 'em up elements. But it just didn't work out. This game is even more ambitious. Because, well, it's an open world Batman game, and you would actually see a better version of this game with the Batman Arkham games, as I said before. Yeah, it's got a good idea, but it's terrible. It's a terrible game. Do not buy this game unless if you are a diehard Batman fan or you're just a glutton for punishment. Yeah, don't buy this game. Unless if you're a Batman fan. Not recommended at all. Not in the least. I would much rather deal with Luann Loud's water drinking prank than have to play this game again. Yeah, there's a deleted scene in the Loud House where Luann Loud sets up a prank when Lincoln gets out of bed and he has to drink through all of these cups of water, and he has to, pee, because he drank all that water, and that prank would be torture. Yeah, I know it's torturous, but it's less torturous than having to play this game. Stay far away from it as much as possible. And get out your freeze gun and freeze it solid and make sure you break it. And it shatters into a bajillion pieces. Yeah, don't buy this game. Unless you're bad.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Oh, I just found out that there's another one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's ice puns in the game itself. But like before, it's pre-recorded, and Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't do the voice of Mr. Freeze. Still pretty cool that it's there, and it's my favorite ice pun in a sea of ice puns, but yeah. Kind of wish that Arnold Schwarzenegger reprised his role as Mr. Freeze in the game. Needless to say, there aren't that many games out there that make you feel like a bigger idiot than Batman and Robin on the PlayStation 1. This game is not only hard in its difficulty, but it's also hard to control. Yeah, seriously, I've played this game for an hour and, well, it feels like I have to look up a walkthrough online to figure out what to do. It's very confusing and it's not very easy at all. The game doesn't actually give you a indication of what to do as opposed to the Batman Arkham games. Believe me, I'm able to beat the first level of Batman Arkham Knight. Yeah, so I get what they're trying to go for. Because this game is at least ambitious for the time. I mean, it's an open world game where you can do what you want, and, well, you can explore the streets of Gotham City. Keep in mind, this was years before the Batman Arkham games came out. But it's really bad. It's a mess, and it'll make you get confused. And of course, the controls are pretty bad. The movement controls, makes you feel like you're controlling a tank, and it's even worse than the controls of a Resident Evil. And you can't even control the camera angle, which is a thing that I hate in 3D games. Because in 3D games, you need to be able to control the camera. Let's take Super Mario 64 for example. Let's say it's a really great game and you can control the camera angle on a dime. Yeah, it's a great example of how 3D games should be handled. But in Batman and Robin, you cannot control the camera angle. And, well, you're trying to figure out what to do, and, well, you'll get lost, and you probably need to walk up a walkthrough. Keep in mind, this was in 1998, a year after the movie had been released in theaters. So, in 1998, you got yourself a PC or an iMac, and all you had, like, was dial-up internets. And good luck trying to look up what, to do in this game. Because, well, this game doesn't give you indications on what you should do. And you also had to get a strategy guide. You had to wait for a strategy guide to come in the mail because this was before the internet became common. Yeah, it's another one of those where-to-go games. And it's also the kind of game that, well, you get excited about when you see it in the rental store, and you get it after completing a week's worth of of schoolwork, and, well, you finally got that game as a reward, and then you go home and play it, and once you know it, your whole weekend's wasted. This game is an easy 2 out of 10. It is easily one of the worst Batman games out there. Horrible controls, confusing layouts, and an idea that was ahead of its time just didn't work out well when I was first around. It had ambition, but in the end, it was a rather bad game. Yeah, and say, even Re-Res had trouble playing it. That's how much it sucks. Yeah. Here's my advice. Don't buy this game unless if you are a diehard Batman fan. Yeah, I got it specifically to review and because I'm a Batman fan. I'm a sucker for anything Batman related. So yeah, that's my advice. Avoid this game at all costs. It is simply not recommended. And it gets the seal of utter rubbish. Alright. It's time for me to look for more clues. Alright, so I'm looking around for more clues. There could likely be some around here since I had several break-ins in my headquarters. I don't know how I get, say, break-ins like these. But yeah. That's fear gas. Smell it. My worst fear is coming to life. Uh-oh. It's not good.